It's time to talk to you about the technical specifications of your DragonBoard 410c. Throughout this lesson, we've already kind of talked about a lot of the things we're going to talk about right now, but we want to give you a little bit more of an in-depth look at the capabilities of your board. So you have three options for your operating system that you want to run on the board. One of which is, of course, Android. We've talked about that already. Android being a application tablet-based operating system. It's really nice for application development, and for all you Android users out there, you'll have a lot of fun, especially considering how fast the processor is, which we're going to talk about in a second as well. You have Linux, which is either a desktop or command line based operating system, very similar to Windows or Mac OS that you've probably seen before. And then we've heard that Windows 10 will actually also be available for this board for download and installation, hopefully sometime at the end of this year. So we look forward to that, and we'll possibly be teaching you how to do something with that later on.
All right, and the processor, again, is a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. It is quad-core, and it's 1.2 gigahertz, which makes it incredibly fast for the use that it's in. It's not as fast as your computer, but it's for a microcontroller, it's just amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's 32-bit and 64-bit capable, so you shouldn't have any problems with like video quality and things like that. There's a decent amount of RAM, so you have 1 gigabytes of RAM on board, and then there's some small storage capabilities. I think you have like 8 gigabytes on the SanDisk, and then you also have the like non-volatile memory as well.
Yeah, so the 8 gigabytes is basically where your operating system is stored on board, and then you have access to the SD 3.0 for non-volatile disk memory. All right, so we'll talk about a little bit about video and graphics. So you have the 1080p HD, basically video playback. So 1080p is it's pretty standard nowadays, and this board's pushing it out there as well. The Qualcomm Adreno 30640 graphics card. We haven't had too much of a chance to experience the graphical capabilities of this board. However, we're pretty sure they're going to be up there considering everything else we've experienced so far with the speed of the processor. Connectivity and location. We talked to you earlier about the onboard GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, everything that basically connects you to the world
Yeah.
is on the board already. So that's
Wi-Fi
awesome.
antennas, like you got it all. So.
Yeah, you got it all. It's all on there, and from our experience so far, it's phenomenal. It's really fast. Yeah.
Yeah, then we have a lot of different I/O interfaces. So you do, again, have the micro SD card slot. You have now this one has a full-sized HDMI connector for connecting to a wireless, or not a wireless display, for connecting a wire to a display.
There you go.
But like a TV or something like that. You have the micro USB so that you can connect an interface from a computer. This is really important for Android, again, uploading applications. You'll be probably using Android Studios or Eclipse to build them on a computer and then upload them to the board. And you have the 2 USB slots, again, that will be used for if you have Ubuntu or Windows operating systems. You're probably going to need a mouse and a keyboard to be able to write programs directly onto the board and then be able to run them from the terminal.
Yeah, so actually talking about basically uploading applications through the micro USB cable, that's been the traditional way of doing things. This board, from what we've gathered, can also actually access the Android debug bridge via Bluetooth. So another cool reason that the Bluetooth is built in here, we will hopefully be showing you how to do that later on in this course or the next course. But a really cool feature that just basically allows you to upload applications wirelessly. So you could be sitting around your house, throw an application on your board from the living room, and
we're back to the Internet of Things.
And we're back to the Internet of Things. There you go. Yeah. Camera support. So it is capable of holding up to a 13 megapixel camera. Right now, there is no camera available for this board. However, they are going to be releasing one soon, And if you really needed a camera, you can hook up a USB camera through one of the USB ports. So there still is access to video and recording, just not via the expansion headers yet. Talking about expansion headers, we have multiple ways to connect to the world via these expansion headers. Like we talked about earlier, the 40-pin.
Yeah, the 40-pin expansion header has a whole lot of different options for connecting to various devices. You have the UART, the SPI, the I2C, the GPIO. Those are a lot of the big important ones. We're going to go over those a lot in more detail, I think, in Course 3. But it's very important to note that these are going to be available for the DragonBoard.
Yeah, and then on the 60-pin header, as you can see up there, you have access to more I2C, MIPI, where you can possibly build yourself a audio system or something of those sorts. Definitely a lot of really cool capabilities in the future after developing more stuff for this board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and of course the 16-pin header. We already talked about all this in an earlier video, but yeah, the 16-pin expansion header as well has audio capabilities where you can maybe solder in a jack, has microphone capabilities and stuff like that. Since this is a 96 boards compatible board, compatible board, there will be other add-ons available, like we talked about. So possible shields that will allow you to use third-party cameras and stuff like that. So look forward to seeing more releases for this board, because it was just released not too long ago, and there's a lot more coming out.
Last month or so.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot more going to be coming out for it. So we're excited.